So let's do a side-by-side comparison of two great cameras. So it's not about looking at one is good and one is bad. It's basically to see which one of them would suit you best in your meeting room. I'm Lars Berlau, working at Tech Data Maverick out of Denmark, but covering the Nordics about Teams rooms. So these are cameras that could be used for Microsoft Teams rooms. We got the ThinkSmart cam from Lenovo and got the Huddly IQ. Both of them is cameras that would work with auto framing, so framing the group. So no need for any additional remotes. This is actually everything's been handled in the camera. But for a start, I did without the auto framing, so you can see the horizontal field of view. As you see, the Lenovo ThinkSmart cam is not that wide as the Huddly IQ is. So if you look at the specification and if you talk with Huddly, they normally say 150 degrees field of view, but that is not horizontal, that is actually diagonal. So if you need to compare, you would need to look at the horizontal field of view, and that is 120 degrees. If you look at the Lenovo ThinkSmart cam, then it is 100 degrees horizontal field of view. So these are the settings or the specifications right now. I didn't do any changes on the settings, so these are the default settings on both the cameras. I'm using the required or the recommended cables with both of them, so we have an equal side-by-side comparison. Don't look at the audio is taken from the studio microphone right here. So basically this is just about looking at the picture. And for a bit of a setting, I've also done different lightnings in here, so we will try to change the lightnings during this recording just to give an idea about how the different cameras act in different kind of lighting. So we could start by turning on the lights in the back, could turn on or off my light on in the front. So here I have a key light over there. I'll turn that one off, and I'll turn the front one off as well. As you see, it will take just a little bit of a moment to do the changings in the camera, but these are the settings. This is probably what a normal person would work in. So I have two lights on the side, nothing over here at all, but I can try to turn them off as well and then see how they do side by side. This is where Lenovo is staying a bit lighter than the Huddly one. So if you're having a really dark environment, that might be a nice fit for your meeting room. On the other hand, I hope you don't have this dark a meeting room. So let's try to turn on the light again. So this is where we turn on the normal light, and then I would try to see. So this is probably the environment that most people would work in with a regular light, nothing specific LED lights, anything. I have a window in front of me, but it's still pretty gray in Denmark right now. So I'll try to turn on the light in the back to simulate that we would get light in from a window. So if you're working with the camera pointing at you and then a window in the back, then this would probably be something that would look like this. So, well, pointing a camera against the window is never great, but this is what several people do when we work from home, because we don't have that great experience or meeting facilities. So this is what it could look like, trying to walk around, and basically you can see that there's still a nice picture quality of my face. So let's try to turn that light a bit down and then turn on my key light. So I will turn on my left one to a start. That will give a bit of fill light in the back, as you can see. And then my key light in front of me. And there you would see on the Huddly IQ for a start that you will get a a bit of not shading but highlights in my forehead, but it seems to be adjusting pretty quick. So this is basically settings on different kind of lightnings, and then I would go to some of the settings that is possible. So right now I've done the default settings. I haven't changed any color things at all. On the other hand, on the ThinkSmart Cam, as far as I can see, there's no settings of any colors at all. But you can do that you could set the auto framing. Could also do speaker tracking. Honestly, I'm not that fond of the speaker tracking. It seems like it's doesn't work really well for me, at least when I'm testing it by myself. So I basically just like the auto framing. So I'll do a save on that one, and then you can see the camera starts to move, which basically means that if I move around, then the camera would follow me. And the same feature we would have on the Huddly IQ. So I'll turn that one on and save there. And then you have both cameras doing the auto framing. So basically, if I'm walking around in my meeting room, then you would see how the different cameras is using the auto framing. So the Huddly IQ does work a bit later than the ThinkSmart Cam. But then again, when it does actually change the setting, then it does it pretty fast. So that actually depends on how you would like to have the settings working. As far as I know, we don't have any places where we can change the settings on how it actually works. Basically, it works straight out of the box. No need for settings, no need for remote, but it is a great feature. So for instance, if you're sitting one person in a meeting room, then it would frame into that person. And if there's a person coming in during the call, then it would react and then do the framing to all of the persons in the meeting room. On the Huddly IQ, I could also do manually setting. So I have the option of doing a fixed setting for the camera if I don't like the auto framing. And then again, then I can change the position of the camera. But basically, I would always recommend to do the auto framing because it works really well. And it does give the users a great experience, those who sit remotely. Another feature that the ThinkSmart Cam have is that picture-in-picture. So you would have a small picture in your left-hand corner, which would give experience of the whole meeting room. And then if I walk all the way back here and it does the framing, then you would have the framing just on me. So I don't know, it's probably not a setting that I would use a lot, but anyway, it is a setting, so it's available in the cameras as well. So back to this, as I said for a start, this was not to say one is good, one is bad. This was basically to look at two different cameras that we could use in a meeting room and see how they're actually working. One of the things that I tried to do as well before I did this recording was to see the sharpness of the different cameras. So basically, normally we would sit around at least probably 2 meters away from the camera or so. So this is just to give you an idea about the sharpness of the camera. Sometimes it's a bit easier when it's written to see how it is. One thing though that I seems to, if I do like this is where you can also see a difference. So the Huddly IQ is pretty good at doing a sharp image even really, really close to the camera. Might not be a lot of people that actually needs that, but I think it's looked pretty good. So thanks a lot for watching. This was just a short side comparison between Lenovo ThinkSmart Cam and the Huddly IQ. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you out there. See you. Bye.